to my listeners around the world. In no way am I exaggerating when I'm saying around the world. Well, in fact, it turned out I have listeners in many countries around the globe. So I'd like to say special hello and thank you to everyone who's listening to Lilia's Sunday podcast. How are you doing? Personally, I'm feeling absolutely excited about the weather today. Although I think quite a few people here in Kiev now, that's where I am now, might find it a bit strange because I woke up to some heavy rain in the morning, but it is Sunday and the rain is an excellent excuse to stay at home and spend time with my family. Yeah, this is something you don't really do often, do you? Because normally you just think, okay, it's Sunday, I may go to a pub, or meet up with my friends or something like that. But no, the rain is a fantastic excuse to not go anywhere and stay at home and spend time with your nearest and dearest. So in this episode, I want to share with you a brilliant tip I thought of when I was working on my other project, which is about podcasts for teachers. Incidentally, it will come out soon, so I'm planning to start posting it up when I accumulate a couple of episodes, so stay tuned. I hope to run and to start another episode which will be intended for teachers of English as a foreign language. So let me know if you think that's a good idea, because I'd really love to hear from you. So what do you think? Do you think I should start making this podcast for teachers? But at the same time, don't worry, I'll continue making Lilia's Sunday podcast and it will come up every Sunday. Right, okay, so today I'm going to reveal a secret teacher trainees learn in their teaching courses and use when preparing lessons with their students. So this tip will help you learn faster after you personalise your learning plan and work out what learning style suits you. So how can you do that, right? How can you make this possible? First of all, I think I need to explain that there are 3 types of learners based on how people take in new information, including learning a new language. First, there are visual learners. They learn best when they see something written, or when they see something. If they're learning a new word, the first thing they need to familiarise themselves with is this word, like in the written form, or a spidergram, including this word on the board, something like that. So they need to see it, right? They need to see it, and that's how they perceive it, right? Okay, see it to perceive it. Right, so that's like part and parcel of being a visual learner. You need to see something before you learn it. So the second type of learner is a kinesthetic learner. Wow, kinesthetic, that's a difficult word. I'm not sure I could spell it correctly. To be honest, when I was preparing notes for this podcast and I came up to kinesthetic learners, I didn't really write the whole word up because I was like 90% sure I would make a mistake in it, so I only wrote K learner. Bad girl, Lilia, and you dare to call yourself a teacher of English. Right, okay, so a kinesthetic learner is a person who learns by physically doing things, like putting the cut-out lines of a song in a correct order, like tossing the flashcards, coming to a whiteboard and writing something up there, or miming a word they're trying to learn, right? So doing doing something like physically, making physical movements with their body, with their hands, just, touching something with their hands. So only if you touch, you can learn, right? You can't really learn without touching something. So touching is the key thing here. Right, and physically doing something. So movement is very important for kinesthetic learners. And then you have auditory learners. If you're an auditory learner, you learn best from listening to other people talking and hearing what they say, as well as focusing on subtle details of what they say. I have to be honest with you, this is the rarest kind of learner, but based on my experience, auditory learners are those who have the best pronunciation because they normally have a good ear for music, and that they can easily tune in the speaker's rhythm of speech, intonation, way of pronouncing the sounds, etc. So those are 3 types of learner. based on how people build up and store information in their head. So you have visual learners, right? And then secondly, you have kinesthetic learners who learn by touching and moving. And then you have, last but not least, you have auditory learners. Those are people who learn by listening, and that they take information in when they hear it. So that's what auditory learners are all about. So if you want to know what type of learner you are, and if you learn that, right, if you know what type of learner you are, then you can use activities that suit a particular type, and as a result, you will learn faster. Okay, so you may ask me, okay, Lilia, how can I identify what type of learner I am? It works like this. You divide a sheet of paper into 3 columns. Let's call them C for visual, hear for auditory, and touch for kinesthetic. Then you go out and ask someone, a friend or a colleague, to dictate a set of nouns to you, both concrete and abstract, and then you write them into the column you feel is right for you as they're dictating it. So you may include any nouns you like, but try to go for some tricky ones like church, Christmas, mother, your friend Joe, etc. Yeah. So I think 10 nouns is enough, right? Don't go mad with it. I think 10 is okay. 10 is the perfect number. And after that, just count how many nouns you have in each column, and that will help you decide what kind of learner you are. Okay, so I hope that helps, because it helped me a lot. I think I'm an auditory learner, and I learn best from listening to people and copying their accents and copying their intonations. So that's how I learned a lot of things in my life. And if I have a choice what to listen to, if I have a choice what way to learn, to use, like to, I don't know, to read a text, yeah, which would be something that visual learners love doing. Yeah, read a text or an article, listen to a podcast, or listen to a radio program, even without seeing the speakers, yeah, but just listening to them. Or, I don't know, or just like looking at the flashcards and putting them in the correct order on my table, yeah, just physically doing that. I would definitely choose just listening to something, and basically then in my head transferring it into my active vocabulary and adding up to my active vocabulary. That's what I do. But everyone has their own style of learning, and no style is better than the other. So just define what type of learner you are, and then go on learning the language using the activities for this particular type. You can Google just activities for visual learners or activities for auditory learners. It's okay, right? Whatever type of learner you are, just use it to your own benefit. Thanks a lot for listening to this episode of Lilia's Sunday podcast. It was episode number 15. You can listen to all the rest of my episodes on liliacoordinates.podomatic.com, or you can go to YouTube and watch a couple of my videos about doing your exams, like international exams, or just finding the perfect teacher of English for you. Right, I also have a video on that. Great, okay, thank you very much for listening to this. Subscribe to my profile on Podomatic. Just, contact me on Facebook and Contact. Just let me know what type of learner you are and what works best for you, as usual. And also, if you'd like to hear more, if you'd like to listen to more podcasts from me, like the teaching podcast or something like that. Right, so here I'm going to stop. Have a fantastic Sunday, my listeners. Goodbye.